Yeah, he got fucked up pretty hard because his opponent didn't realize that Squall got like the double hit if they both had like no cards in hand. So like Ramirez had him discard the one card in his hand, and then he was like, "How many cards do you have in hand?" He's like, "I got nothing." He's like, "Oh," like pissed.
You still looking for foil accuracies?
Yeah, I am actually.
You have other trades?
I have some stuff with me. I just don't have all my trades. What are you looking for?
No idea.
I do have
I like
the
looking at trades.
clouds, by the way.
Which one?
The one that I just traded you.
Oh.
I have 2 foils. So like,
I actually was considering building Firewater Party Attack. So you would use Moro, Yuna, Zidane, Yuzuki to keep them protected.
are we live right now? Or?
We are live right now.
Oh, okay. Hi guys.
You could talk and do whatever you want. I'm not I don't like being very uptight about
Are
that.
you gonna share this Dr. Pepper with me?
It's fine.
No? Do you want to go get a Dr. Pepper before we start?
No. I just hoped you would share it with me.
Why would I share?
What? No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll live.
He's being stupid.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm just trying to say the thing.
Oh.
Did you guys put out like the link or anything?
It's going right now. I'm trying to get pulled off.
Oh, cool.
James is taking his dear sweet time.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, the dude talks like Plup. I don't want to ever do another deck profile.
Oh, yeah, you do.
So nice to each other. Oh, so here is from, this is just like my personal conversation with them. We were talking about like after the weekend.
Publix. Pass by the pepperoni. Dude, I miss Publix. Ah, shit. I remember going to Publix and getting like their chicken, like the boxes of chicken with my grandmother, and like sitting there organizing their teas because they were never organized.
Where are you from?
I born in Minnesota, lived in Florida till I was like 15.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So yeah, I had no idea what a Publix was till we went down there, and then once I got in it, I was like, oh, this is just like a Safeway or Family Fair. Like it gave big like Hy-Vee vibes.
Yep.
It's the same thing. And I finally tried that Starlight Coke.
Was it worth it?
It was weird. It's a meme.
Is it?
Yeah.
Just like lean, but not as bad.
Yeah, it's yeah, no.
All right. So we're good here. This right?
No, I have the list.
Oh, you have the list. Do you want to do the housekeeping stuff then?
Sure, just do the intro.
Yeah. Cut to you. Be like, and now to James.
With the sports.
Fucking screen wipe.
The sponsors.
Oh. Speaking of screen wipes, has anybody seen the first 2 episodes of Kenobi yet?
Nope.
Ah, shit. I don't know how I feel about it yet. But
Please don't spoil it.
I like how the recap is just the movies. That's it. And they give you like a recap on episode 1, and it's just clips from the movies. I was like, what?
Their trailer is literally their recaps of the movie. Have you ever seen like his interview on YouTube ads?
No.
That's literally what it is. He's talking about,
Jesus.
just like how it feels to play like Obi-Wan Kenobi and like how it is to fill in the shoes, and then like that's it. It recaps like some of the old movies, like the 4 through 6 series is shown, and then like 1 through 3. And it's just like
I still think 2 is the least desirable.
Huh. Yes, I'm going through them all right now. You're good.
Thank you, by the way, for putting that on the Midwest one.
Yes. I do this thing where I just post it to ours and then I go share, and I copy and paste the exact text. I just goes click, click. Make sure.
Yep. Just remember, I think the only thing with the NA page is if you're going to push out like a stream link or anything, you get a 1 per day.
1 per day.
Yep. Just so it doesn't clog up the feed.
Yeah, what the heck, James?
Yes,
Make it count.
Hope it works.
Recording, everything's going. I'll have. Hey, we have a comment.
We're not gonna even read the comment. I hope so. Reset. We good?
We are good to.
Give the countdown for the actual post. All right, cool. 3. Oh, I thought we were cutting to you.
Yeah, that's fine.
3, 2, 1, clap. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to TCG University. It's me, Noah, your lovely host, here with
James.
and special guest.
Chris McKinney.
Our boy Chris here you were one of the judges at the RERAISE event, right?
Yes, I was the head judge for the event. We also had
sick.
Jason Toro, who made a guest appearance. Sorry, Jason, that you didn't get to go to your Pokemon regional, but you had a lot more fun with us down in Florida.
Yeah.
So he helped keep the event running that weekend, and it was a really good turnout.
Solid. Housekeeping out of the way. Please show support by checking us out on Facebook, subbing to us on YouTube, enrolling on Patreon. And we also would like to thank all the supporters that we have. James, you want to read that list for me?
Yeah, sure. Since I gave it to you, you immediately left it alone. Ryan Core, Christopher Bromley, Sean O'Brien, Timothy Freely, Kevin Broberg, Josh Hillers, and Jay Rogers.
We appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, thank you for the support.
Okay. I'm just going to open up with a super basic question. Overall, how was the event for you?
So that was my first time actually being a head judge. So it was nerve-wracking to a degree. Really, the event went pretty smooth. The weekend was a success. There was one small hiccup, and that was more just a timing. Like round 1, we had a 50-minute round. It was a minor hiccup. The store does like 5-6 different games, and a lot of them are like best 2 out of 3 50-minute rounds. So people were like, wait, we have a whole hour? There were definitely people that stalled out to time. And then after that, we were like, no, it's a hard 30 minutes for the rest of the weekend.
Fair enough.
It was a lot of familiar faces. People that you've probably seen in like Cure at Crystal Cup. So like Matt Okamoto was there. We had the boys from RVA Returners, Chris Adams and John Schreiner were down there. Chocobo Joe, there were some people from Good Game Chicago that showed up. And there was a lot of new people as well. I want to say a third, if not 2/3 of the attendees were people who had just started playing the game.
That's pretty good.
Like not even for like 2-3 months.
They showed up. I'm okay with that. And showing up at the event, that's fucking support.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Growth.
Okay, so we wrote it down here. The 4 decks that appeared the most.
Yeah, so I took a tally of all the deck lists, and there were 16 soiree-based decks. There were 9 Avalanche or Avalanche-based decks. Some of them, there was like an Avalanche soiree hybrid.
Got
It
you.
was hard for me to keep tally as far as what was what, but pretty much if it was an Avalanche core, there was about 9 of those. 6 mono waters, 2 of them made it into top cuts, and then there were 5 samurais. And everything under 5, there was like Rydia Palamporum, there was some really off-the-wall ones like Mannequins, Scions were there as well. I think there was like Mono Fire, a couple Kingsglaives.
Yeah, shout out to Kingsglaives. I love Kingsglaives so much.
The thing that really surprised me is that I only counted 2 Sky Pirate decks that entire weekend.
Yeah, that seems nuts.
Like I thought it was going to see a lot more.
From sitting at the
presence.
top from the last set or last format, I guess, into this one.
I
Like,
don't think it got any weaker either. It just nobody played it.
Yeah.
yeah, because I don't think besides. No, because I don't think Soirees off the top of my head has anything immediately in its kit that stops Sky Pirate's kit.
The only thing is you can't straight break anything, and they can't ping off if they're playing like a Palamporum build. But like,
Yeah.
Yep, because the Madame Edel becomes a really solid lightning rod.
Yeah.
Yup.
Like you have to take care of her first. And if she's already on the field, you don't want to let her leave because then the deck has to play fair. I'm really interested to see if we get more tech with like character breaks, because if you take Shinju out, that backup, the color fixes,
Yeah,
the
that
deck
deck-
slows down significantly.
You're not allowed to pay whatever you want for all of your dudes.
Right.
I wonder how you do that. Does Hecaton Chair is 3 or more, isn't it?
Hecaton chairs 3 or more.
So you could
The
use Ninja or
backup.
Archer. Yeah.
Yep.
Those 2 can target it. So we got decks overall. What specifically caught your eye? Like what decks did you think just stood out or like you didn't expect to see?
I don't
you-
think anybody expected to see the fire ice. I know you.
I mean, that's
a lot
fair.
of people have heard about that. But really, what surprised me the most was that Verstale was still there. You
Oh, yeah,
know,
there was
yes,
one there, yeah.
Cody Snodgrass got into top cuts with Verstale, and the deck still fired off pretty well, even without Stern being in the deck.
Mm-hmm.
There are still some moments where it can be very difficult. I was watching Cody play in top cuts, and he played a Verstale and only got like 1 forward off of it. And at that
yikes.
point, I was like, I can't watch.
It's
And I went
not
to another
going.
table.
I don't want to watch this man shoot himself in the foot. Top cuts then, because this is like the super interesting part. We had, was it 8 soirees in top cuts?
Super interesting.
I think top cuts was super interesting.
Yeah, so there was 1, 2,
'Cause there were 8
3,
soirees.
4,
That's not
5,
interesting.
6.
It's disappointing. But it is.
There were 7 decks that incorporated soirees.
7 in tops, Jesus.
Yep.
That's a
Like-
little under half.
It's real annoying because there's no originality in it. It's there.
You play soirees.
Yeah, but have you seen the list? My list is nothing like theirs. There are 2
Your
soiree
core
decks
is
right now.
exactly the same.
Well, look, it's soirees. There are like 9 guards.
Yeah.
The entire core of everything's the same.
So-
But like I don't play Irwin or Elvis right now because I just don't feel the need to have them. The Irwin, the 3K doesn't matter to me as much as it could.
you mean Elvis?
Yeah, sure, Elvis.
I think it's good on EX or if you play it at the proper moments.
It's neat.
It seems like Elvis is a lifesaver for a lot
But
of people.
It's a card that I'd rather just have be something else, which is what it is right now.
I mean, that's fair.
And with Irwin, it's just another soiree. That's it for me. Like the discard's cool, but I'm not abusing it, so I don't need it.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
It'd be easier to focus on the other stuff.
The Irwin definitely shines if you can play it after your board's more established, because
Yeah.
getting to see your opponent's hand is
Getting-
pivotal.
I've seen a dude.
Having
I've
board
seen
state
Irwin
and
get
then
looped like 2 or 3
gaining
times.
advantage off of it, yeah. To me, it feels more like a win more instead of just a game plan type of card.
Okay, I get you now. I still think it's cool.
I don't know, I'm not saying
I guess maybe it's just because when I was watching Top Cuts, I noticed that every time Irwin was played, it made some form of impact.
Yeah. It's for me. It just ends up being a discard for Gilgamesh. So,
Fair enough.
like, Gilgamesh is, in my opinion, better than Irwin.
Which is why
Irwin
Kadaj is coming back,
fills
baby.
up for the soirees. But like, there's only 2 main builds for soirees right now, and I think they're just both real lame.
What are the 2 main builds that you see?
It is playing Ishtola, Cecil, and sometimes you see Behemoth K in it, and just maintaining board state. And then the other one is just, as I like to call it, it is literally just dragon format from Yu-Gi-Oh! Because everything is colorless.
Okay, fair enough.
Shinju, what are they? The weird dragon morphs, the entire Kirin archetype. It's all of those, yeah.
Shijin. with
Shijin,
Kirin.
not Shinju.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Shijins and those are all just colorless. So everything in your hand pays for everything in your hand.
Okay.
Nothing in your hand is off color.
Do we see any Shijins being played around?
I didn't see any Shijins that were actually at the tournament, but during the side events, people were playing. Because I
They
played
seem
some
like a
off the
fun
wall,
deck,
like
yeah.
gunslinger matches with people, and I saw a couple Shijins.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are like the only 2 decks I see is using Ishtola and Behemoth K to just kind of wall out your opponent into losing slowly. And I think it's lame.
We're going to go through these, though.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just saying, if 7 of the same are the same deck, and you constantly think that deck is not hard to play against, something's up.
I don't. That's just because I played against yours. I played enough matches against Soiree where I'm like, I know what to
You
look
know
out
where
for.
to hit and do
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
One of these days, I'll build a deck that specifically hits back row. Okay. I guess from bottom up on
Yeah.
top 16. So we had, what was 16?
So 16th place was the Firewater Twins. This build was by Kyle Hewlett, and as you can see in the list here, it did not run Rydia, so it was really just a Firewater based deck, focused more on like Moshery to pop off your summons and then take them out of your break zone to draw or bounce things back up to hand.
Got you.
The only thing that I thought was really weird just looking at the deck, and I understand that like Kyle was a newer player coming into this event, is I get very scared about seeing decks that have Moshery with the Princess Sarah.
Oh, yeah.
because as what we've practiced here locally, sometimes that Princess Sarah is your only other color fixer. And if your opponent knows what they're doing, or if they want to throw the Ratsu at it, you can be absolutely locked out of mush.
Jerry's over there shaking his head like, "Yep, I've had it happen. I've watched it happen. It feels bad."
And I don't know. The more I've looked at the deck as well, I see where the Palimporum control comes into play, but I'm not really seeing a whole lot of options as far as how to fire off the Braska Grand Summon. I think Princess Sarah is really your only ability to generate wind.
Got you.
Which seems kind of risky. In a
Yeah.
build like this, because it plays fire, I would have loved to see even just that Fawn.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe doing a fire wind hybrid with it.
Which Onion Knight?
It's the new Onion Knight, the one that you discard and then draw two.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep. But otherwise, he played his games really well. Obviously, I couldn't watch every single match that was played, but Palimporum is still definitely.
Oh yeah, you get Palimporum out early.
I like the addition of Jin. I think Jin's a really neat fire card for any deck that uses a fire forward to deal damage.
Yep.
So 15 then.
15th place was a pretty static Avalanche list. It was interesting to see Kadaj and Noctis in the deck together. So it's the light Noctis.
And then Dark Kadaj, yeah.
I see where some power plays would be using the multi-element Barret to discard a card to pick up a different category 7. So if your hand gets clogged or if you have one on the field already, you could get it out of your hand.
I play
fair.
4 or 5 different light cards.
Yeah,
So,
you
yeah.
do. You discard Aerith a lot.
Yeah.
But you also play the Opus 14 Cloud as well, so if you have light Aerith in your hand,
Yep.
you can get rid of her.
It also gets rid of her. Yep.
Yep. I like that. So light Noctis for the party attacks. Kadaj, I'm assuming, is just
Removal.
Yeah.
just for his remove too.
Removal, get things out of the
I think
So Kadaj is still very good, strictly on the fact of hitting discard piles nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everybody's bringing back summons.
Are they playing
Fusoya.
Mist Dragon? They are nuts.
All the other targets are bringing back summons. You have Madame Adele gets hit by this because she won't have targets.
Suarez wants to bring back its
Yep.
summons and all of its options.
You have all the regular stuff. I have one other thing in my, I guess.
Come on, you got this. I believe in you.
Avalanche.
Oh yeah.
Avalanche also does it.
That was the hard thing.
My brain just stopped for a second.
That's fair. 13.
We're actually on 14.
Oh, we're 14. My bad.
So this one was played by Kyle Peters. It was an Avalanche deck that played the Soiree backups. So they were literally just Amber to search out your Shinju.
To just fast play backups.
Yep, it
That's
just
fair.
tutors out your backups.
Okay.
It gets you color fixed really easily because you can have Amber grab your Elvis, which sets you online for your Earthfire plays.
Yep.
And also, if you have Shinju, Amber, and Elvis, that's a 9K hit off a backup.
That is.
So it's pretty good.
I think that's one of the things, at least when me and James talk about it, that Avalanche needs is a way to consistently deal with targets on board instead of just relying on Cloud or big boys.
The only
Right.
reason I don't like it is strictly on the fact of you only get it once for Elvis.
Yeah.
You have to find a way to
Unless
remove
you EX
it. Like
it.
Sasanowo. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
obviously. But Sasanowo is your only way of getting rid of backups.
Now, as far as being our resident Avalanche player, have you contemplated trying Soiree Avalanche after seeing some of these lists? Because I would have never thought to match two of them together, but it works.
I have because I'm already working around trying to see what it's like to cut colors out of the soiree because I feel like I don't need them in
Sure.
certain styles.
Sure.
But for the build I'm playing right now, I kind of want to just focus on it because we're going to that event in Pennsylvania in September, and I want to keep switching around my deck for that.
Do you think you can fit Fusoya in your Soiree deck? I'm just curious because
the
you.
Life Fusoya?
Yeah.
Oh, the Life Fusoya?
No. The Water Fusoya, the new one.
I have tried, but there's not many summon targets I care about right now. I play Ama and I play Mist Dragon, but there's nothing I'm wanting to consistently pick up. So I can't guarantee there's something in my discard pile I'm
Cactar?
going to want. I'm
If you-
playing
if you
Shiva.
fit it
I'm
in
playing
there.
Shiva right now
Oh.
because it fixes my ice and
I'm
does
just
the same
curious.
thing Cactar does. And I'm not. The discard's extra, and I don't need the extra damage off Cactuar.
Fair enough. What's next? 13?
Yep. So
Okay, now I'm on
it's
track.
It's another Soiree deck. This one was played by Daniel Kirka. It had Soiree with the new Cecil.
Yep.
So, it has a really good, strong start. Looking at the list, it does play Kieran. There's 17 different targets that he could have hit in the deck for it, which, is the risk that you get with Kieran, right? Is
Yeah.
It only grabs a forward of cost 4.
Not
4
4
or
less.
not any other type of character, but like being
Solid
able to play the Kieran and then hit a good target, or you play Cecil and start building down your backups.
Yep.
That's also why Kieran and Soirees is like that. The Shinjin, I'm gonna mess it up. The monsters and then the Madame engine.
Because they're all 4s.
They're all 4s, and all of the Kierans are 4s as well.
right.
So everything you're looking for in your deck is gonna hit. So not only does it color fix itself, it also plays for free without having to worry about missing.
You could bring back that. Remember that old Vanille? The one that when it enters the field, you choose a duel forward, you call a number and reveal the top card of your deck.
Yeah.
And if it matches the number, you get to break that duel forward.
4.
Right. Just call 4s. 4s all day.
That's actually kind of funny.
So one of the things that I wish I could actually talk to Daniel more about it, because judging, watching Top Cuts, and just all the other games going on, it was actually pretty difficult to have one-on-one conversations with everybody.
Yeah, I would assume so.
I was interested as to why he played the new Carbuncle. It was the 1-cost Carbuncle that pumps your board by 2, and then if all of your backups are Earth, you get to draw a card.
Yeah.
I would have much rather seen Golem from like Opus 9, Opus 10. It's 2 CP, EX burst. It pumps only 1 forward up by 2k, but you still get that draw.
Maybe. Obviously, I can only speculate on it. I would say if specifically for this deck, it would be to try and keep Madame Adele alive.
I can see that.
Because if she's still on the field, none of your guys take damage, and they can't be broken by things that don't deal damage.
True.
So maybe it's for that reason. It's just cheaper
to pump
in
your
case
board
like
up
he
by
has the 1
2K.
backup instead. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be my guess. But I wouldn't know for sure.
Would love to hear it, Daniel, if you're watching. Leave us some comments as to why you made the choices that you did. I think you played really well over the weekend.
It's again, Soirees seems like, I mean, it is just the new Sky Pirates.
Yeah.
The deck builds itself essentially with its core, and then you just fill in the gaps with anything that you feel like you want to fit in.
It's just more open than Sky Pirates.
Yeah, it's not as confined
Yeah.
because there's not. You don't have multiple Soirees to pick from. You have a set instead of like Sky Pirates where you can
Yeah.
pick for different instances.
And it's a really new player friendly build as well.
That's very,
I mean,
yeah.
you could buy 2 boxes of Emissaries of Light and almost guarantee everything that you need for the deck.
Yep.
The highest rarity in it is a hero. So like new players can pick up and have a really solid, consistent deck for a really low entry point as well.
Yeah.
It was one of the things we talked about the last time we had a podcast. Was yeah, how I like that they're adding archetypes to the sets themselves, because they not only does it create standard decks that they're adding already immediately to the format, as well as obviously adding and compounding to everything that exists or whatever people are going to build, but it gives an easy point for new players who aren't able to find the older sets. Because like 14 sold out almost everywhere. You're not going to find 14.
Right.
So like it's going to be harder to find the older sets the more and more it goes. So like having the ability to just build a brand new deck off of just a couple of boxes, super good for new players.
Bonus. What's the next one?
Yeah, so going
12th?
into 12th place, we have a Samurai's build if you want to take a look at that.
Yeah, let's see. They
play Samurai.
Both a different.
I'm just going out on a limb here.
On a limb. I haven't seen. I guess because the Samurai build I look at is, or the most recent one I looked at was one Zeth built. It didn't play Hein in it. So seeing him in here is a breath of fresh. It's playing the new Luneth. That's sick.
Yeah.
I like that.
Squall.
Squall makes sense. Bahamut, Brynhildr, Amma.
The thing that seems weird is that the Squall is
A one of?
one of.
Yeah.
You'd think that with as much board clearing and the efficiency that you get off of Squall, you really only need to swing with Squall and then
Like another
Cyan
yeah.
with just a couple Samurai backups, and you have a pretty heavy board clear, and you can do it pretty early on in the game too.
Zade, Kukaspel.
Maybe they just didn't have it.
Possibly.
Kadaj, is Kadaj a staple for Sam decks? Or is it just he threw that one
I
in
think
here?
Kadaj is a staple meta card most of the time.
Yeah,
We
I think
haven't
it
seen
was
him for almost a
good
full
meta
format.
call.
I
so-
told you when we went to the last event that we should have played Kadaj.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was my thought.
Kadaj would've
Last,
messed people
that was my
up.
thought last format before.
Oh my god, that
reset.
would have. Oh,
We had talked about this where I was like, I wish I played Kadaj instead of playing Shinryu, specifically just because getting rid of things in the discard pile was much better than getting things rid on board.
yeah, because they'll just pick him back up
Yeah.
anyways.
So it was just a much easier to have the Kadaj. It was a choice that should have been made last format that wasn't being made.
And now it's being
that
made
is
here.
now being made.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
It's the reason why Mist Dragon, why I keep saying Mist Dragon's really good. It's because discard piles are nuts.
I mean, yeah, the Mist Dragon and Kadaj almost stops King's Glaive from functioning,
yes.
which makes me sad.
Let me go change my deck real quick.
Shut up.
So in 11th place, we had Chocobo Joe. He was playing the Avalanche
Chocobos?
Soiree.
Oh.
It, I did not see this combination coming. I never knew that Avalanche and Soirees mixed together was a thing.
And it's more than just the Soiree backups.
It's more than just the Soiree backups. It's like it plays Vesvia for your draws, Madame Edel, Airwind for discard.
It plays the core, then the
Just
core of
about the whole
Avalanche.
package.
Oh shit.
So Shinju is, of course, a must. There was
Yeah.
actually a point when Joe was playing where he dropped a Merald without having Shinju on back, and we were able to rewind the play. But just it was really eye-opening to see how pivotal that Shinju is when you're playing a multicolored deck like this. You have to have that color fix.
Yeah.
Yup.
And if that
It's-
Shinju leaves, like you're bricked.
It's why, depending on whichever, like if whatever dark or light I'm going to choose whenever I play my deck, I'm always going to play like a Cosmos or a Chaos, specifically just for the color fix. Having that extra color fix is nuts, especially as a free
So
color.
you just play Earth-based decks. I think Earth has one of the best color fixing
Shantoto?
throughout all. Yeah,
And
Shantoto, Tyro,
Yeah.
Charlotta.
Charlotta's pretty
It
neat.
gets
Charlotta's
it
different.
gets one of the class.
Charlotta
members.
can't work as well with.
Yeah, but
like,
if you pitch a card out of hand,
soirees.
play a dude, then it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Charlotta's not really built for soirees. It's
Kamari.
built for like two color decks.
I don't
Yeah.
say Kamari is like a perfect color fix, but it's there. What's the next one?
10th place was just a standard soiree list. I mean, we've been talking about soiree for the past 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We really need to go over
I
it.
want to look at them all.
Yeah, you're
It's
good.
just
You're
like-
good.
See if I missed anything. I swear I looked at them all.
At this point, it's where you start to see soirees get a little more burst heavy. Really, from here on out, most soiree
I hate the
decks
summons they're all playing.
Playing the new Aerith.
from 9th place
Yeah,
on.
everyone. It's
Yep.
really weird because like I think the only reason they play the Aerith is strictly just protect Adele because it makes it a 10k.
Yeah.
I just hate playing that Aerith because it's real small and just dies.
Yeah, but she comes back.
Yeah, in 3 turns.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's too
Sometimes that's all you need. Soirees isn't like a fast deck by any
Yeah.
means.
It could be.
So, from here on out, as you saw with the deck list, most soiree builds you're going to start to see that Aerith as well. This one specifically in 9th place with Greg Cole. I think the deck could have done a little better with less Shinryu. He played it as like a straight 3 of. Which again, if you're going against like Mono Water or things that like Sky Pirates are going to have those 3s or 6 costs that you might want to hit or try to get off the field, I'd be worried about getting bricked. pretty
Yeah,
hard with
three
Shinryus.
Shinryu seems
Kendall Jackson
dangerous.
saying he was 10th.
Yes, we Kendall Jackson in 10th
Okay.
place.
I
Yes.
don't know if I think he's just in the chat, so I'm making sure.
Yep. Hi, Kendall. I've got you here at 10th.
Oh, that's right. He did play Alba and Zidane in here too.
Yep.
Which also solid cards. Boy, do I love Alba.
Alba's another very like if you can play it as a in your color staple because it
Yeah.
removes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good call.
Yep.
Alba and
I think
Dodge to
I've-
just start.
Discard
It
power
was-
eating away
removal
that
right now is
discard
very
pile.
strong.
Sorry, now I want to double check which Zidane was it. Was it?
I
He played.
Or is it not in this?
I can't tell you.
Zidane was
I
not
think
in
it's
this one.
list. If it's the new one, the new Zidane's sick as hell. I watched that card steal like 4 or 5 cards off the top of someone's deck in Top Cuts. I was like, what the fuck?
Is it
No.
Kyle Ranzadane?
The one thing I do want to highlight here on Greg's deck is he played Fail Thanos.
The
The
7
new one
CP,
or the not the new one.
the lightning rod.
Yep, the lightning rod. So I'd almost want to see that Shinryu come down to like a 2, maybe even a 1. That's just my personal opinion. And
boost the
maybe
Fail
try that
Thanos up.
Cecil Fail Thanos and lock them down.
Fucking shit. Like, can you
Think about that.
can you imagine?
You have to pay 5 on a single target ability, plus 2 more if you're targeting with Cecil, just to be able to fire off
Yeah.
whatever you're going to do for
It's
removal.
like, that's so stupid. You want to tax people out? That's the way
Maybe
you
it's
go.
a meme. Maybe it's a dream. Maybe I'm just full of shit.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
But yeah, you start to see Eretz here. The summons start to shift up as well. You start to see more bursts, like the 5-cost Odin that gets smaller as the game goes on.
No EX per soul?
Yeah, he was
Okay.
playing the No EX Wool.
Man, what a card. Fucking New Squall. Yeah.
Yep, that was
God, I think Behemoth K is just so sick.
Arvin's Rebellion by Greg Cole.
Then we move to
8th place.
Nightclub. I like the name.
Yep, so this one was a soiree party attack. So this is where you start to see that Noctis is coming into play a little more pivotal. At this point, it's more of like your toolbox effects from being able to declare a party attack, either Noctis a part of it or triggering those abilities from it. You start to really see the summons change as well. The new Cactuar saw a lot of play this weekend.
I think that card's nuts. I saw that card a few days ago in a YYT video I was watching for like their Winnabox or whatever, where somebody was playing Earth Monks with that, and I was
Yeah.
like, that triggers for Yang, and it breaks it. Those fucking nuts.
And there's almost no drawback to playing it, especially
No,
in a
not
deck
at
like
all.
Soiree, where your backups are going to be almost 3 different elements 9 times out of 10, because you're playing.
And you're not
Tiro,
eating
you're
the
playing
damage.
Shantoto.
Unless you want to.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I do like that.
So it's great. 4 CP break answer. Into 7th place, let you take a peek at this one, is where you start seeing your mono waters.
Oh, look at this handwriting. So nice. Webuna, Octo, Tros, Blue Worm, Leviathan, Remora. Is that the 6CP Remora? Right?
Yes.
Okay. So, all the different Leviathans, Atomos Leviathan, Titus, Lightning, Volca,
So it's your pretty bread and butter mono water list.
Mono
I
water
think
is like-
we were going for straight consistency in that,
Do you
and
want to look at it?
No.
Mono Water is one of the decks I think I struggled the most against,
okay.
which is why I'm surprised there was only like 2 in tops.
I think it has a hard matchup against Soirees.
That's fair. There were 16 of them flying around.
You don't want those ETBs coming back out.
No, you don't. They'll end up just messing up your game plan.
And especially if they get like Cecil on board.
Yeah.
Pay 2 to bounce every time you try to do something.
You have to discard 2 cards to
Yeah,
attempt to
and
do
if
anything.
you're doing anything, you're giving
With
Cecil
Volca
back
at least.
anyways. So you're just giving another free play back.
That's nuts. Yeah, it's a bread and butter mono water, and it made it there, which I wouldn't doubt it. Fucking mono water scares me. God.
Going into 6th place, we had Cody Snodgrass with a Fire, Ice versus Stale, which, holy crap, it is still a powerhouse.
He only
of a
played
deck.
6 backups? What a monster.
Even without stirring, like the deck took a hit, but it's still obviously tops. Cody's been working on that deck with Kyle Peters. It's like their child.
Yeah.
And it's still a really good deck. I see the Orphan got switched out for the new one for burst potential and board control.
The Philly is cool.
Yeah, Philia's still there. Plays the new Squall. So just a lot of like fire, ice.
You want a way to
good
keep their board
cards.
clear, because I would assume once they get a board set up, they can kind of deal with it a lot easier.
Or you hit one off for Stale and then you cry.
Yeah,
That
like
was- That was so brutal to watch.
they're playing the new Shantoto, which is also pretty good.
Oh yeah. Yep. To be able to
The new Shantoto's
either
nuts
get
as well.
something back or dole out the board.
Yeah.
That makes
Shantoto's
me
great.
wonder-
I don't think they had any
I don't
crystal,
think he has crystal generation.
so it was just to get a character back, which is still fine.
Yeah, still value.
Man over here playing Avalanche with the new Shantoto and somehow doesn't affect his deck at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, nope. I'm not seeing.
Why would
There's no crystal generation in this deck. So
Why would I
interesting.
play like 5 cards?
I wonder now.
Fifth place, we have another soiree build. Pretty typical, although you start to see Zidane. This one had the Behemoth K, and the Zidane was played by Kyle McGinty. And I was talking with Kyle because we played on the Cure series and also just at the Florida event. This is such a testament to how easy it is to jump into this game, because Kyle was talking about how he didn't have a whole lot of practice with like different matchups, and there were some rulings that even he didn't really know about. But like, look at how well this deck does.
Yeah, just
what
James made a great point. It's a great way to just jump in.
What a full house.
I feel like he set that whole thing up for that, and I'm crying on the inside, but I respect it a lot.
All right.
And we're in top 4
As
now.
we move into top 4, so each deck is different in top 4.
Oh, is this the Fusoya deck?
Yep.
This deck was getting me hyped watching this.
So we have 4th place. We have the Fusoya deck from Sam Toole.
Give that wolf a banana.
I think I read that Fusoya twice when the card actually came out. So just to see how that deck popped off, amazing.
I just one of the games in top 4. I can't remember. I think it was against the Mono Water where he slapped Zidane down and stole like 4 or 5 cards off the top.
Yeah.
And I was just like, how does Mono Water come back from that? Like I was rooting for the Mono Water because I was like, this deck is the deck I can't deal with. Please beat this Fusoya deck. But then I was like watching Fusoya pop off, and I was like, this card's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Like,
just being able to recycle so much.
If you're able to get the Fusoya off, it's great.
it seemed just about every time he played it, he at least got 3 triggers off the Fusoya.
Yep.
I was like, insane. That card carries so much with it. Tomos, Hecatoncheir, Cactuar. Yeah. I had to read the backup list just to see all the color fixing, because like it's so much color fixing, but it's color fixing that just functions super well.
3rd place, we had Nick Schnell with the Mono Water as well. Still pretty typical standard core. I think the summons change just a little differently from what we've seen on FF decks. So there's like Kuchulain the Impure.
That's one. No, which one is that one? That's the one CP?
The one that blanks.
Okay, yeah. Because there's like 3 different ones I have to.
That one's really good because it lets you take every meta.
Yeah, it does.
Blank
Unless
Adam.
Flex is out, then it doesn't.
Yeah.
I mean, still plays Sildra, still plays Remora, which, what a power play between having Mashari and Yuna on field, and you can play Sildra
For 2? Be like, I'll just selectively get 2 cards out of my deck for nothing. God, that's gross. Mashari at a 3 of. He's not playing Princess Sarah in this one, right?
Nope, no Princess Sarah, no Hilda either. I know some of the decks, I think the one that was from the Mono Water Masters list had Hilda.
I could see why.
one-of.
She draws you one, and if you play her at the opportune moment, you can get back one of your dudes.
Pull back
Whether it be like
Tidus,
Lightning. Yeah.
Yep.
Can you imagine playing Hilda drawing a card in Lightning? Sick.
And then we have our top 2. So we
Oh,
had
boy.
Michael Powell in 2nd place. We have I think probably the most optimized version of Suarez.
Yeah, this thing
that you're
ran
gonna see
clean.
right now. And it was really interesting because when he sat down to talk with Daniel before the finals started, they were kind of talking about the decks, and they get to see each other's deck list before the game begins.
Yeah.
And Michael was specifically practicing against like Ice Fire, personally.
Yeah.
So just how he got locked into finals with that is crazy.
The
deck had specific answers.
Game 1 was nuts because he completely like stomped over on game 1.
Yep.
And then I guess we'll talk about Daniel when we get there. Watching game 2 and 3, I was like, what the fuck? Deck pops so quickly.
It's either one person A is going to pop off or
Yeah.
the other deck is.
I saw him play a Kieran, and then he did his top 4, and there was a Sid Rendell there, and I was like, that's cheeky.
Yeah,
I like that
that's
card.
What you want to hit.
Sid Randall's like one of my favorite ice cards, and I was like, oh, he's playing one? Ooh.
The only part that I think was really rough is that Madame Edel and Suarez, you want to have really fast board building plays.
Yeah, you
you're
do.
gassing out your entire hand to put a whole bunch of dudes on the board and swing in like 1 or 2 turns. The only problem is that going up against things like Squall, you have to watch yourself. You can't go down to 0 cards in hand.
You can't.
Knowing that
Or he'll
Squall could be
capitalize
out
on that.
there, yes. And I think
Even
there
if it
was a
kills
moment
Edel,
where
it's still.
Michael did go down to 0 and he got slapped for 2.
Yeah.
Squall. Just it's rough.
Renoa said Gudon was in there. Fucking Gudon.
So Gudon's good. Anti-ice. I mean, because he can't become dull. Same
Yep.
thing with Kieran. I thought the Renoa was really cool.
Yeah.
Being able to drop Renoa and like double up on your Edels or any other ETB that you really want to pop.
Yeah, it's sick as shit. I like this list. I like this list when I saw Sid Randall, but I could see why this list made it to tops. It is very, very streamlined and like probably the most optimized we're going to see a Soiree deck at the moment until
interesting to see
another
what
set
changes
pops
happen.
up. All right. First place, which hella respect because this is just an optimized version of what I wanted to start working with. And it pops off so goddamn quickly. Like when this was posted on FFDecks, I fishbowled the fuck out of this.
Did you?
Against like all my other decks, and I was like, "What the fuck?" It'll be like turn 3, and I've got like 5 dudes on board from nothing. Here, do you want to look at this? I don't know if you've actually seen this deck list. I think it's sick as shit.
So Dan Ramirez definitely had my heart this weekend. Like I love Knights. I love the Final Fantasy VI characters as well. and
Yep.
Celeste. So being able to play Celeste, either force a discard or to pick up a lock.
I thought it was. I mean, obviously, it's one of the go-tos is 3CP lock, and I'm surprised you didn't play backup lock. But 3CP lock seemed like a really smart play, especially having Squall in your deck.
I think it's if you're playing a more aggressive route, which in this case I think it was. I could see choosing the forward versus the backup because yes, the backup's going to be consistent. You can find a backup and then you can play the lock to search another backup.
Yep.
To just get your board established. But if you're party attacking, which is what this deck did a lot of, you're Celesing every single turn to either freeze down their board or you can recycle your locks for
Moro
unblockable.
giving you the ability for all of your dudes to party attack without the element exception was nuts. Watching him just slam Moro down and swing with it because it has inherent haste. I was like, this just fixes his hand regardless. Like if his hand's ever garbage, he can just put Moro down and be like, I'll fix my hand and
He
maybe
can
touch you
cycle
too.
and-
Yeah,
yep.
it's insane. Mixed with Noctis was nuts. Just about every time Laswell came out, it always seemed to target like specific cards that needed to be shut down for a turn. Like watching this deck struggle a bit in the first game and then pop off on the next 2 was fucking insane.
Well, you start to control those resources.
Yeah.
If you're not really too worried about forwards, every time you drop a knight, you're just gonna hold their back row down.
Yep.
That slows down soirees because you're not getting things for effectively 2s, soft 2s, soft 3s.
I think Sultheus, in my opinion, was probably one of the most pivotal cards as well.
Yes.
Because he'd always have 4 forwards that he would need to remove. And the second Sultheus comes down, if they don't have a way to stop it, there's just another dude coming out that has some extra benefit.
So I think what my favorite interaction was watching this deck over the weekend is the power play of you have a crystal, right?
Mm-hmm.
You play Soul. When Soul enters, you pay the crystal to play a forward of cost 4
Yep.
to the field. So you Soul, Crystal, drop a Celtius, and then you remove cards from your break zone to flip the top 5 and then grab something else, whether it's like a Squall or a Celeste.
Yeah.
Just like comboing cards together.
So good.
What a power play.
Soul's sick as shit. That card for pay 2 and a crystal, so just inherently playing the game, I'm allowed to pay 6 CP worth of dudes for 2. The free play aspect's insane. Shoutouts to Daniel, dude. That deck was amazing.
Yeah, and Dan was a newer player as well. He said he'd been playing the game, I think, for like 4 weeks.
Holy
He
shit.
typically plays other card games. Like he's pretty popular in like Digimon. So he had like his badge all weekend.
Yeah.
And he had, you remember the old TV cards from the Digimon
Yep.
series? He had one of like the TK and Patamon cards. And it was just sitting in his badge all weekend. So, yeah, that was the top 16. It was a really solid weekend.
I'm not surprised to see so many soirees. I assume that deck was going to show up. I am surprised that there weren't as many Samurais and Sky Pirates, because I think Samurais, especially because they got the new 4 CP back up, Samurai would still take like more precedence than it did.
Fire got recursion.
Yeah, like what? For any of your Samurais of 4 less or Squall
Right.
is nuts. James,
That the 4 drop Samurai is nuts.
any takes besides the Soiree decks? Is there anything else that caught your attention?
Not really.
kinda quiet
I
over
am
there.
upset that there were so many soirees, and they were all just the same deck
Well,
with like 2 changes.
yeah, but the changes mattered. Like once Aerith and Y'shtola were put in the deck, it seems like the decks function at a higher capacity.
Because the Stroller just stays on board because you can't hit it.
Yeah, it's Minwood.
Yeah.
through its own
It's
effects.
the same reason why you don't like Barrett.
Fucking Barrett shouldn't be able to do what he's allowed to do and have a Minwood effect. That's just me. Make him an 8K. Shouldn't be a 9K. I could be wrong. Whatever. Okay, so here's the question then. As you were watching throughout, what deck or archetype or anything did you expect to like actually take it? Did you expect Fire Ice to take it, or did you expect like Soirees or Mono Water?
No, honestly, my expectations were to see Mono Water be right up there at the top. I thought Mono Water, and it could just be what we play locally versus what everybody else plays.
Yeah.
And that's also looking at the difference between the American meta versus like overseas in Japan. Every locale has different cards, different things that work. We just haven't seen a whole lot of Soiree here. I think the most that we've seen is a little bit of the multi-killer with the Gilgamesh FFBE.
Yeah.
That
That's-
James was
that's
playing.
That's
with.
like a straight go-to because there's so many FFBEs to play.
Right. And then it's almost like you're playing a title deck in standard.
Yeah. Oddly enough.
Right. But no, I thought Mono Water was going to be up there. I was honestly really, really shocked to see only 2 Sky Pirates the entire weekend. I thought it was going to see more play because of the fan events and stuff that we've seen coming back. But, Soiree is very aggressive, and we are kind of at a point where, the meta is a little more aggressive. You're playing cards that are hella value that's either going to drop 2 to 3 forwards or they're going to build your back row for you. And it's like who has a bigger board or a board wipe.
Yeah. Do you think what key cards do you think are going to be the ones that showcase themselves as like tech cards against things? Because like we know Kadaj will definitely be there.
Kadaj is going to be there.
I want to say maybe Sid Randall only because he shuts down just about every Soiree forward.
Yep.
Um,
No, every soiree forward.
yeah, every
They all
Soiree
say
forward.
win.
They all
you
say
play
win.
this, if you have 4.
So
Too cool thing.
if Soirees are going to be like a top contender for the next set or two,
Yeah.
we're going to see less Shinryu because there's just not a lot of...
There's no 369s falling around.
Right.
And
There's
if there
not a
are,
lot of them.
they're not as important as they used to be. Besides Titus and Folka, and maybe Lightning, but like Lightning wants to be off the field.
You'll see more Kadaj just because discard's relevant, for sure.
So if you can play a deck that is really versatile with your cost of characters, like if you have 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s,
Yeah.
and you're playing Lightning, you can play Exodus, and that's like a hard board wipe for Soiree. Because you
is.
and your opponent
Yep.
both pick a number, and you just call 4s, and their
The
front
board's
row
gone.
is
They can't do anything about it. Because it's not, Exodus isn't breaking, it's placing a drop, right?
It does break.
Oh, then
So you have to get rid of,
You have to
rid
get
of
around
Madam
Edel.
first.
Madam
Madam will...
single target pings to get Edel off.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Because you could break her really easily.
Oh,
You could
yeah.
play Fusoya and Popper.
Right.
Or not, or Seymour. Sorry, Seymour, not Fusoya. Fusoya works too, but
So I mean, like, there's things like that. You have Earth is probably going to be a contender because you're removed from game with Shantoto. Is still going to see play, and
that card's never going to not see play.
no, it's
one
never
of,
going to go away.
I think watching all of like how wide some boards get and how it's really hard to interact with single things. I think board wipes are just a lot more prevalent. I'm almost gonna adopt a philosophy of putting in, even if it's like a 2 and 2 of the same card, like 4 versions of a board wipe. That way, I'm able to reset the game if need be and stop my opponent from just steamrolling my face in.
I think dancers would give it a hard time
That's true. Yeah.
with Andrea.
They can't target anything, and Andrea being able to duel himself and like You could put 3CP Aerith that restands all your backups on play and can protect your dudes with her special. Those two. Or is it Kyrie? You could put her in. Yeah. For her ability to scry as well.
Yep.
And just play those two. Dole them, and now their boards blink.
Dole it,
And then you
like the board.
8K the board. Like,
Yeah, I mean, really, it's.
That's the plan I have with my build currently, but
But I think non-targeting removal is what's going to be
it's the best way to go.
The best way to go, or negating those ETBs.
Yeah, for sure. Amma is always going to be prevalent at this point.
Yup.
James, I want to, because I mentioned Amma, Fiona.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's going to be she has that chance if they're playing a primarily wind deck?
If they're playing primarily wind, yes.
But it's
I
not going to
think
happen with
in the only meta deck right now that could play that Fiona and get away with it would be Sky Pirates,
That's fair.
because everything is also water.
With
So,
Philo
like,
on field, yeah.
Yep. So if you wanted to, you could play entirely all wind backups and still have your water CP and need it, and use it however you want, without overextending so far to where you don't get to play Fiona.
That's fair.
Are we talking about the Fiona backup?
Yeah, that's just Amma.
The forward, the 3CP forward that says if you control 4 or more wind backups, you
Amma?
can pitch
Oh,
her to
Fina.
cancel. Yeah,
Fina.
Fina, sorry.
Fina, yeah.
My bad. Names are too close.
But yeah,
I'm really
so
bad.
yes, that is the only drawback with Fina, is that it only stops ETBs that come from a forward. So, I mean, yeah, you could absolutely have something in wind.
Maybe Sin. I think Sin's very
Sin would stop an auto.
yeah, Y'shtola. It's one of those like I think the only reason you would play Sin is because you don't have access to Y'shtola or your card draws just better, so you have that consistency with it. But that's all I'm noticing. I think watching through the event, I thought it was very interesting. The soiree decks, I think the soiree mirror match is kind of whatever. Like I think soiree is an interesting deck and archetype, but it's not as boring as fucking watching Dogas go at it.
This is true.
It's a lot more interesting because there's more play lines than just Mashri.
Well, here's the thing. Doga matchups are fine if Mashri doesn't exist. Mashri's the problem.
It's literally who has the
Free
most summon.
Doga 2022.
Sildra. So cards that were on the watch list last time they released it was Mashri, Sildra, and Fat Chocobo, right?
Yes, Fat Chocobo.
So I'm assuming Fat Chocobo isn't so much on the watch list anymore.
I think just not many people play Chocobos.
Yeah, because Stern's not existing, so like they don't have that drive to gun after him.
I think they wanted to. They could. They can easily get away with Fiona for counter
Well, you get to play Chocobo Sam as well.
and Cecil.
Yeah,
So like, I think they could easily get away with it. I just don't think anybody's playing.
Cecil
it right
and
now.
Edge. Can you imagine?
Yeah,
Fucking sick.
along with just being a Bart's deck.
Play
So you
Theodore.
can play Noctis and still get away with all that.
Yep. You
Noctis
get
Materia.
White Mage. You get White
Materia.
Mage into your field. Yeah.
Yep.
It's sick.
Granted, this was only the first
Yeah.
organized play event that we had, so it'll
Yeah,
be
that's
really
fair.
interesting to see what happens
I
next
think
month,
Chocobo.
what
I
happens
think
in
Chocobo is
July.
a very good deck this format.
I'd like to see more of the Fire Ice decks, but I don't know for sure if that's going to be like a staple going through the rest of these events.
It could just be like a
it
play
could have
style
just been
fit, like
yeah.
not like a
The
fluke,
the person that built the
but
deck
it's
knows the deck
very
better enough. It's not
play
just
dependent upon the person.
yeah.
So there were 3 of them that were at the event. It wasn't like a single deck that rose its way up into the tops. There were 3
Okay,
Fire
that's
Ice,
fair.
and it technically 4 if you're going to call Verstale as well, which is Fire Ice.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not going to call for stale for what we're talking about. but-
There was one Guardians deck there.
Yeah, there were some Guardians, whether it was like Category 10 or Guardians based.
Yeah.
I you know what? I'm adding that to the list of things I thought I would see.
Guardian. Yeah, I thought I would have saw that. I mean,
Cause Waka's fucking nuts for no reason.
I like the deck. I think there's maybe one Guardian specific forward off.
I have an idea of how you can fix that.
How?
Fix your Guardians deck.
Mine.
Yeah, just
Well,
fix Guardians in general.
I planned on getting rid of the 2 Water Tituses I was playing in mine and swapping one out for Eject and then one for like something else.
I think you
'cause I
take
think
out the
Jack's
fire
nuts.
and just play Skybirds.
But
Gives you
Prosca
a
and Eject are
core.
really good, and they're also my board removals.
I get that, but
That deck needs board removal. That isn't just Waka.
I'm just saying. Sky Pirates functions with other things.
I mean, it does, but
Why do we lose
did the screen go off?
Camera?
Oh no!
Uh-oh.
It might just be a low battery thing. I would have not foreseen that. Hold on 1 second.
We still have audio, just no camera? Yeah. Oops. Well, while they're looking into the technical difficulties,
Let's wrap this up
sure,
real quick.
sure. So it definitely was a really good weekend. It was really solid, set the bar for Crystal Cup level type of events. Hopefully this is the start of the return to organized play, and we get to see more events. I mean, they could take the winners of these and easily pick invites if they wanted to do like a national.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Shout out to James Lockwood, Matt Heffelfinger of Haven Games. It was really great to see you guys and for the event that you did over the weekend. And please go support the other events. The next one is in Dallas next month in June.
Wish we could make that one. That's the one with the Regis promo, isn't it?
Yes.
Fucking shit.
And then
need
there's
that.
Legendary Wolf Games in Omaha in July.
We're gonna be there. Well, James won't have it off, but I'll be there. Chris, you're gonna be there.
Yeah, I'll
I'm
be
assuming.
there.
Yeah.
Choppy, I
Jerry might be there.
It's a real
The
choppy
Omaha
image,
event.
but I put something up.
Oliver's gonna be there. Represent. I can't speak. All right. Other than that, I hate the difficulties that we're having here.
We just have to make sure that we have to be plugged
It
in,
was
so-
almost fully. Yeah, we just need a longer cord.
Yeah.
That's the issue. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We will have our locals streamed in probably within like an hour or so.
Yes, which one am I not allowed to repost streams into?
Don't repost it into the NA page
NA
since
chat.
you've already made one post today.
Okay.
But,
Are the
just-
other ones fine?
Oh, dude, Kindle's gonna be in Omaha.
If you
I wish
want
I could make
to
it
throw it in
Dallas,
the
I just
Midwest
can't.
one, I don't care.
Okay.
That's my group. But yep, hang tight, guys. We'll have local streaming soon. Thanks for tuning in.
Say it.
Stellar?
There we go. I paused it on my phone, like that would actually cut the stream off.
57 minutes.
That's good.